Hey guys, welcome back to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath Holland, and this is an unscripted episode. The topic for this episode, where are the cinephiles? Where are they? I read an interesting article in Variety talking about how, basically asking that question, why aren't cinephiles supporting new movies? Movies are for cinephiles. We're the core audience for movies, and now, 2024, more than ever before, cinephile, I'm going to use we are not supporting most of the movies that are coming out. You know who is? The casual audience that wants to go see Deadpool or Alien or whatever, Ghostbusters. They're the ones that are supporting the movies. Cinephiles, the people that these movies are arguing, look, movies are for everybody, right? The cinephiles are the hardcore of that audience. And we're just not checking this stuff out at all. People go, well, you know, movies cost so much to go. Like, it's $20 for a movie ticket. If I get popcorn, that's another $10. If I get a soda, that's another $8. It's $50 to go see a movie. Okay, but you don't have to do that, first of all. You could go to a matinee. You could go to, like, the cheap Tuesdays are usually cheap across the country, no matter where you are. Every theater has some sort of a discount day. We used to make excuses. I think that's the thing. Is I posted about this. I posted about this article, and the excuses, man, it was like, wow, well, you know, that's too far to go. These are the same people that I can see talking about the movies that they've gone to see, and they're like, you know, they did go see these huge movies. So we're very selective about what we'll go see in the theater now as a cinephile. And it just kind of blows my mind because these movies need our support more than ever. And I'm also witnessing this huge divide in movie fandom where when I say cinephile, a cinephile watches all movies, but they're also watching the movies that aren't for the mainstream. They're watching the niche films. They're watching the off the beaten path things because they just love movies. That's what a cinephile is. I just love movies. I want to see as much as I can get my eyes on. Listen, guys, if we rewound this, let's shift it from 2024 because people go, well, there's nothing to go see. I'm sorry. Horizon and American Saga was incredible. The Bike Riders was an incredible. The Bike Riders, more and more, I think it's my favorite movie of the year. Now, listen, we got a few months to go. The Bike Riders is incredible. The Beast Within, I saw that in theaters. I'm trying to think of movies I've seen in the last couple of months. Kneecap, my goodness. I saw all these movies on opening weekend, usually on opening day, to a theater filled with 10 people or less. Meanwhile, Deadpool is on 4 screens and is now the highest grossing R-rated box office movie of all time. So we can't say people aren't going to the movies, because they clearly are. Let's shift it from 2024. Again, those are movies that all of those are worth your time. So you can't say, well, there's nothing playing. Let's go back to the 70s. So you say you see Jaws, right? This would be like, well, I went to see Jaws, or I went to see Star Wars, or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I went to see Ridley Scott's Alien. Oh, mind blown. Serpico? No, they don't. That's not for me. They're pushing an agenda with Serpico. It's this very anti-cop kind of a thing. Very leftist, you know. The French Connection, again, really pushing an agenda there. Friedkin, you know, he's really controversial. I am the cinephile generation. I am the generation that grew up in the video store watching everything we could get our grubby little hands on. And I'm watching my peers fall away and just go, I just don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I've got a big screen at home. I'll watch it on streaming. I should tell you where I'm at. You know, I made a video a few weeks ago. It was when Deadpool came out. I made a video that said, you know, I've been watching the way people talk about this movie. I've been watching the self-fulfilling prophecy that this is going to be the biggest movie of the year. People that don't even go to the movies are like, but I have to go see Deadpool. You don't want to wait for that to come to streaming? Why are we supporting, you know, these big movies that are so easy to find and are always going to be around? Why are we supporting those in the theater and not supporting the stuff that really, truly needs our support? So when Deadpool and Wolverine came out, I was like, listen, I'm going to not see these movies. Any franchise IP movie, I'm not seeing it opening weekend. I'm going to hold it till at least the next weekend, so I'm not feeding that huge opening week box office numbers. And I predicted in that video, I was like, this is not going to be extreme enough for some of you guys, and it's going to be too extreme for others. In that time, since I made that video, I have seen 0 franchise or IP movies. I did not go see Deadpool. I did not go see Alien. I don't feel like I've missed anything. Instead, I've used my dollars to support movies that I would have wanted to see if those movies weren't even in the theater. So I'm seeing things that are a little off the beaten path, but in many cases, they're big studio movies. They're $100 million. Fly Me to the Moon with Scarlett Johansson. and Channing Tatum. That's a huge movie. It's going to be on Apple TV eventually, but I wanted to see it in the theater. Very expensive movie. Saw it with, I think, 2 other people in the audience. These movies need our support, and cinephiles who love movies and who have shelves and shelves of movies that I guess they're watching. I actually can't assume that anymore. Just because you buy movies and put them on your shelf doesn't mean you're watching them, doesn't mean you love movies. It just means you're collecting boxes of paper and plastic and cardboard. I don't know where your heart is unless you show me where your heart is. And more I'm having people tell me like, I'm just staying at home. I don't care about that. Or, talking about some agenda of some movie. Like, movies have always had an agenda. You go back to the 20s, the teens. There's always an agenda. We're not that fragile, are we? We can listen to something. We can parse it out ourselves. Somebody said to me a long time ago, you chew up the meat and you spit out the bones. In other words, you take what you can get from something, and what doesn't work for you, you spit it out. You don't have to buy the whole thing. I'm trying to use more and more of my platform to elevate crime movies and romance movies and action movies and film noir, neo-noir, whatever. When I talk about this, people go, well, I don't know. How am I supposed to know what's playing at the theater? You have to do a little bit of work. You have to show up for something a little bit. For the last 25 years, you know what? 30. It's actually 30. I just did the math in my head. For 30 years, I've been looking at either the newspaper or calling the theater itself to see what the showtimes were, finding out what's starting at my theater this weekend, what the showtimes are. Check it. People go, well, how am I supposed to know what that movie is? What? We have the internet. You have IMDb now. You can go look up any movie. There's no excuse not to know what's coming out, what time it's playing, and where you can go see it. If you think the theaters are too expensive, join a loyalty program. Go to a $5 Tuesday. Enter into some, like every movie theater is owned by a chain, and every chain of movie theaters has something to bring the cost down because they need your business. That's the thing. And I don't buy the argument that without the huge tentpoles and without the huge blockbusters, theaters go away. It's actually not our responsibilities to keep theaters open. I would say it's our responsibility to support the things that we want to see. Because remember, I should get this tattooed. Tattooed right here on my arm. Every dollar we spend and every dollar we don't spend sends a message. What message are we sending? For those of you that see everything, good on you. That's what I used to do. Up until like a month ago, that's what I used to do. I used to just see everything, see as much as I could. Now, I feel like we are entering crisis mode. I feel like the red light is flashing. And I'm really watching. It's because I've been to so many of these movies. I've been to Horizon. I've been to Bike Riders. And there's nobody there. Fall Guy. Nobody there. And then you go, again, Deadpool on 4 screens. Ghostbusters on 3 screens. These movies need us. They need the cinephiles. Where are the cinephiles? Here's the thing. I've been talking about movies on this channel for 7.5 years. I talk about Jungle Jim, and I talk about Sam Katzman, and I talk about westerns, and I talk about film noir, and I talk about really interesting deep cuts. Right now I'm watching a lot of French movies. So when I talk about things like this and people are like, man, you've changed, I'm like, have I? I've been talking about these off the beaten path movies for years, and I was writing about them even before I started this channel. So have I changed, or have cinephiles changed? I think cinephiles have changed. I think we've gotten very comfortable. I think we're staying at home, and we just kind of tossed in the towel. Maybe it was the pandemic. I don't know. But we just don't seem motivated to get out and support things that we care about anymore. Well, we don't care. I think that's the thing. We don't care about it anymore. I got my collection. I'm good. I don't need to put new things in here. That's another thing we should address. That when you get to a certain age, you stop taking in new information. That's why people say they don't make music like they used to. It's because when you reach a certain age, you just stop taking in new information. I don't want to be that way. I want to keep taking in new information as long as I can. Keep supporting new artists, new voices, new creators. I would argue that's something we should all be a little bit more mindful of. Let's continue the conversation, guys. I appreciate you. If you like what you've heard, hey, thumbs up so you can subscribe to this channel. I do cover a lot of physical media, but I also do frequent interviews with people behind the scenes. Anytime I can get my hands on a creator and find out, like, what fired you to make this? Oh, my goodness. The director of A Quiet Place 3. But before A Quiet Place 3, franchise movie, he directed Pig with Nicolas Cage. I got to talk to him about Pig. What an amazing conversation. That's the stuff that I want to use this channel to support. Unique voices, new voices, independent voices, things that are not getting that full blast of media coverage all the time. Let me light a candle, rather than curse the darkness. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Take care. Till next time. Whew, I'm fired up. I'll catch you later.